Hi, welcome back to Dubai Real Estate Philosophy. My name is Ahmed, and today we are going to cover, in my opinion, one of the best opportunities that is available right now for capital appreciation, not actually in Dubai, but near Ras Al Khaimah, where, of course, the Wynn Casino is coming. Now, the Wynn Casino has been a huge magnet for investment, obviously, in Ras Al Khaimah, and we've seen the prices soar very, very high in Ras Al Khaimah. Obviously close by we have the Al Hamra village, which the prices have also soared. They have doubled, as a matter of fact, and nearby we obviously have Siniyah Island. Now, in my opinion, it was good to get in those kind of projects early, but in my opinion, Marjan Island is obviously touching its peak right now. Hamra village is touching its peak, and Sobha has a lot of development coming up in Siniyah Island. What I want to focus on today is the villas in Siniyah Island. For the people who have the budgets to get in and make that amazing capital appreciation, what we're going to do in this presentation is look at the Wynn in Las Vegas, and we're going to look at the Wynn Casino in Macau. We're going to understand, use that as historical data and do the same kind of calculations basically of what's going to happen into the Sobha villas. Now, obviously, this is villas. We've covered this before as well in Al Shiba Gardens and all these things. They're not the best for ROI. They max out at 6% in a place like Dubai. So obviously, even in Ras Al Khaimah, it might be even lower. Could be higher. Obviously, we'll let the market dictate that. But the main game, in my opinion, is the capital appreciation. So villa price appreciation around Wynn Casino locations. We're going to look at the historical data. So this is basically the Wynn Casino in Las Vegas. There's two buildings. One was launched in 2005. One was launched in 2008. And obviously, we can see the Nevada desert behind the casino. Now, if we look at the details, right? So Las Vegas, Wynn Las Vegas, again, Wynn Las Vegas was the first building in 2005. And then they made another building called the Encore in 2008. So very close by. We're going to look at the key luxury villa areas, okay, all within 10 to 25 minutes of the strip, okay, which is roughly the same idea of Siniyah Island because it's 10 minutes away drive or by your boat, right, which of course is a marina. We'll get into all that in Sobha. So the first community we're going to look at is the Ridges, okay, then we have Queens Ridge and we have Red Rock Country Club, okay. These are all villa communities that were available in Las Vegas basically before the casino was even there, or announced or prepared, right? So, and of course we have McDonald Highlands as well. So now this is just a picture of the community called the Ridges, and you can see these are all massive villas in that, right? Now, key point, look at the area, it's in the desert. The only thing basically keeping this area alive is obviously the suburbs of Vegas, and obviously it's 15 minutes away from the casino. So and this was the second community, Queens Ridge, again, pretty much the same, surrounded by the Nevada desert, the mountains, all these things. Of course, very nice, high-end, communities. You guys can tell by the, the size and the designs of the houses. Now, if we look at the appreciation timeline, 2000 to 2005, this is pre-Wynn Casino, since before it was announced. Villas in this community were priced at around $500,000 to $700,000, which is still a decent price, but, it's not that great. In 2005 till 2008, which was actually the opening of Wynn Casino, prices surged to 1 million to 1.5 million, and particularly in the Ridges. Now you can see 500,000, 700,000, 1.1 million to 1.5 million. They have pretty much doubled as soon as the Wynn Casino opened, right? Now, and from 2008 to 2012, again in 2008, obviously we had the financial crisis, so there was a correction of 20 to 40%, with the bottom came in 2011 and 2012. That was obviously because of the financial crisis. But since 2013 to 2024, last year, recovery and growth rebounded strongly. By 2024, premium villas reached $2.5 million to $5 million. So it's been very strong. These are some of the historical data for specifically the communities in Las Vegas that were there at that time. Now, if we look at the performance metrics, total ROI in 20 years is 300 to 600%, okay, depending on the neighborhood. The CAGR, so this basically stands for compounded annual growth ratio or rate. The annual ROI is around 8 to 10%. Now that means 8 to 10%. It was appreciating annually at a compounded rate. Okay, not just straight and simple, just like in interest we have compound interest. ROE, return on equity, estimate if they were giving 20% down annually, 25 to 40% plus ROE, especially for those who bought during dips or pre-win opening. And then the rental yield, again, it's low 2 to 3% due to high capital values. This is a capital gains driven market, not income focused. And I like to say the same thing will be most likely true for even the Siniyah Islands. And it's true right now, even in Dubai. In Dubai, you don't buy villas for the rentals. So low 2 to 3%. And this is still the same case even in Dubai. Now in Dubai, it's not as low as 2 to 3%. We're maxing out at around 6% ROI. But again, the main game, and even in today, if you go to Palm, there's a lot of villas that are just there. They're empty. They're not even rented out because the owners, they don't want to rent it out because they're like, well, the returns are so minuscule that there's no point me, renting it out, someone there long-term damaging my property, probably the wear and tear costs for no reason. So they just leave it for capital appreciation. And this is kind of the same point that they are making over here. Now, moving on to the next location, this is Wynn Casino in Macau. Okay, and keep in mind, look at the building design. It's pretty much the same. The location is pretty much the same. They're okay, right? Now we're gonna see the one in Ras Al Khaimah. It's a completely different ballgame, right? Now in Macau, Wynn Macau, again, villa-like options. Now we have to understand Macau does not have that much land, so they don't really have enough space like the Nevada desert or Ras Al Khaimah where they just have sprawling landscapes and they can just build, villas and townhouses, all these kind of things. They're very limited. So these are facts and figures for townhouses or, nice apartments like penthouses surrounding that area. Now, again, Macau has limited standalone villas. Some of the communities, Colleen Hills, Taipa Heights, and Heng Kin New Area, right? So again, not standalone, but the closest that Macau has to options like villas. Now, if we look at the appreciation timeline of these, again, 2004 to 2006, pre-Wynn Macau, prices for the villas for, villa style homes, okay, were around, this is their local currency, 4 million to 6 million. And again, that's roughly the same. It's kind of the same as, we had in Vegas, 500,000 to $750,000, okay? Now, 2009 to 14, once the casino opened, the boom came and then it surged to basically 12 to 18 million or 1.5 to 2.2. Exactly the same thing that happened in one casino, if not more. In this case, it is a bit more. It's actually a lot more. It kind of tripled actually over here. Because again, why? They have very limited land, right? So now Nevada obviously had a lot of land and you saw the amount of communities that are there in the sprawling estates. They had much more land so they could do it. Now Macau was already restricted and then we have a casino. Kind of, it's kind of the similar thing because we have an island. I mean, it's not going to continue booming forever. So now 2019 to 2024, again, there was a sharp correction. Why? Because of the post-pandemic, increased regulation, travel restrictions, prices fell 20-30%. The same thing that happened in 2008 in US because of the crisis. It's a cycle, right? It's a cycle. We have to understand there's obviously corrections, all these things, but we got to plan these things strategically. Now, if we look at the performance metrics, the ROI boom, right? When it increased, again, very similar to Vegas, 200 to 300% total, okay? 15 to 18% CAGR, which is again, your compounded annual growth rate or ratio, and 2020 to 2024 ROI dropped due to COVID. Okay, fine. Again, the same thing. Macau really depends on a lot of foreigners coming in. So God forbid there's another COVID. It did drop. Now ROE, early buyers pre-2010, before it was launched, again, 50 to 80%, okay, plus annual equity gains. This is just your return on equity. And this exact same thing as Vegas, the rental yields are 1.5 to 2.2% for luxury townhouses. Again, they don't have standalone villas, and income returns low. Market is volatile and highly policy dependent. Now that's Macau. Okay, Nevada was to an extent much better. Vegas was much better when it comes to policies and all these things. This is obviously, Macau is kind of a territory of China, so obviously, it's not the best regulation and all these things. But we can be rest assured that part is pretty set, especially when you're in the UAE. These guys are pro-business. Even in COVID times, they were the fastest to open up. So we can be rest assured that they're going to try their best to allow investors to reap in the benefits and keep the casino operating. Now, this is Wynn Casino, Marjan Island. You remember the pictures of Vegas and Macau? Look how plain and bland those buildings were. Basically a skyscraper, 50 stories plus on a whole island that is just dedicated for the Wynn Casino. We have a gorgeous marina over here. We have a beach over here. And then obviously it's connecting to the Greater Marjan Island, which we're going to look at later on. There is no Wynn Casino like this. It is the largest in the world, okay? And it is the only one on an island. Look how depressing the Wynn casinos were in Nevada. Well, the Strip is pretty nice in Vegas, but the Macau one, they're average. Okay, they're nice places. They ain't an island or, you know, crystal clear blue lagoon style water type, you know, island that's basically Marjan is coming up with, right? And this is the current update. This is from a picture from Gulf News. At this point, it has finished, I believe, 35 stories already. This picture is fairly old. Now they probably progressed even more. Now this is Siniyah Island. Same thing. If we look at the villas that were in Vegas, if we look at the villas that were in Macau, they were in the desert. Okay, they don't, well, not the ones in Macau, but the ones in Vegas, they're in the desert. Okay, they do have a golf course, but they're not an island. They don't have crystal clear lagoons. That's your golf course there. You have your entire marina over here. Then you have your luxury villas. You know, you have a swimmable lagoon in the middle. This really is a proper master plan community. And when it comes to Sobha, everyone knows about Sobha. We've done many videos on Sobha about their quality, about this and that. We even did a whole 45-minute in-depth tour of their sales center where they showed exactly what the quality is like. So for residential purposes, it really doesn't get better. And if Sobha is the one master plan designing this island, you can be rest assured that they're going to tick all the boxes. They're going to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and they're going to make sure everything is up to Sobha spec. Now, this is a better shot of the marina. Obviously, we have the clubhouse over there. We got all this, you know, the promenade, the beautiful F&B options over here. And then, of course, this is the place where you, as villa owners, can park your yachts, you can park your boats, all these kind of things, right? And this is a render of the 4-bed villa. Very, you know, that typical Sobha, modern, contemporary design architecture in front of a swimmable lagoon. And no other community has this kind of, you know, design where you just come out, kind of like the Palm, you know, nowadays. But it is a far cry, way modern, brand new villas from the ones that we saw in Vegas, and definitely from the ones we saw in Macau. There is no comparison. Now, if we apply the same Las Vegas casino impact to Sobha villas in Siniyah Island, let's see what the numbers look like, right? Now, again, so basically the base price in 2025 for a Sobha villa right now is starting from around 10.5 million dirhams, okay, which is roughly around 2.86 million for a 4-bed villa, okay. Casinos opening on 2027, they are on track, just like you guys saw the construction update, and Q4 of 2027, the villas are coming, so pretty much matched. And the Las Vegas analogy was property prices near, for example, the Bellagio, the Wynn Las Vegas, and Resorts World appreciated 60 to 110% within 3 to 5 years after opening, right? Tourism growth multiplier, 2.5 times increase in footfall near casino resorts, and of course, comparable location impact. Siniyah Island's proximity to Wynn, which is again, just like we said, 10 minutes by yacht or drive, stimulates similar premium uplift zone, right? Now, if we look at the forecasted appreciation scenario, this is what I believe, you know, is a very, you know, we have the 3 cases, right? So in 2025, when you actually buy it, it's at 10.5 million, right? 2027, 2 years later, on a 50% basis increase, it's going to be around 12 million. And then 2029, again, 2 years after it's handed over, and we do the same calculations that happened in Vegas and Macau, we can see that it's going to be around 15.75. If we do the 50% capital gains, again, your profit is going to be around 5.25 million. This is obviously the conservative one. If we do 75%, which is again more likely, okay, 7.8, and then optimistic, where it does double in price, goes all the way, you can see that's around obviously 10.5 million dirhams is going to be your profit. So even at the base case, if only half of it is true of the statistics that we are saying, you still get to walk away with 5.25 million dirhams as your profit. And again, these are the CAGR, or the compounded annual growth ratios or returns percentages, and they're very healthy, even at a normal, you know, basic statistics. Key takeaways, in my opinion, look, Siniyah villas stand to benefit from a once-in-a-generation uplift, okay, driven by their strategic proximity to Wynn Al Marjan, the largest casino resort in the Middle East. And that is a key point. So historical trends, right, from Las Vegas suggest 100% capital growth in 4 to 5 years in realistic high-impact zones near landmark casino openings, right? And this does not get more high impact and more landmark of a zone than Siniyah Island and Ras Al Khaimah. Siniyah Island is an island. Again, just like we emphasized, we showed you guys specifically the pictures of where those communities were and what Siniyah Island looks like. It's completely different. We have swimmable lagoons, we have a golf course, we have all these things. Okay, so that's definitely going to help. Plus, it's close to a casino, the largest Wynn casino in the Middle East. The Middle East is a key point. We'll get to that in a minute. and it's very near, right? 10 minutes away by your yacht or by driving. Okay, now even a conservative projection shows CAGR of 10% more, with strong demand expected from both end users and short-term rental markets, right? So, and what I mean by end users and short-term rental markets, now this is obviously a villa, right? It's going to be, people might choose to short-term rent it, but the main gain, okay, of the capital appreciation, like we're talking about, just like we said earlier, it's not about the rentals, it's about the appreciation. Now, key point, being in the Middle East, we have basically all these same guys with all their oil money, all their gas money, they go to Vegas, okay, they go to Macau and they spend there. Now they have an opportunity right at home, and it's beautiful. It's the largest wind casino in the world. It's on an island, okay, it's beautiful. And if they can have their villa 10 minutes away by boat, okay, what's more convenient than that? These are the type of end users that are going to be looking to purchase from you guys after 2 years, after 3 years, after 5 years. A lot of them probably have it right now, but a lot of people, they might be skeptical. They're waiting for the thing to come through, right? Or later on in the resale market, they want to buy cash in hand, whatever the thing might be. So that is what we're trying to target, right? Now, short term, is it going to do well? Of course, it'll do well. Again, the ROIs are not going to be that great, just like we said before. But waterfront plus casino is a killer combination, right? Globally, this pairing, for example, Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, Sentosa Island, and the Vegas Strip has led to explosive real estate appreciation, and there's no doubt in my mind that the same thing is going to happen in Siniyah. Now, the reason I'm focusing on the villas is because I think there's not that much supply. There's going to be a huge amount of demand. Apartments, we can debate, okay, that if there's too many or, whatever the situation is. This is about the Siniyah villas. We're going to focus on those. Siniyah is an island, just like I said, just like Marjan, limited land, protected nature zones, and yacht access enhance exclusivity and long-term value. Now, this is a pure waterfront property. Just like we saw, right? The render I showed you of the villa of Sobha with luxury branding, private beach access, and limited supply, only 196 units in the whole island. Oh, okay, yeah. So now this is the point I was trying to focus. The Gulf's sovereign and private wealth, oil money, is increasingly being channeled into ultra luxury tourism, hospitality, and real estate. We see this with Saudi's PIF. We see this with the Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund. We see this with Abu Dhabi, the ADM, I believe, and all these guys who are Mubadala. They're investing in all these things. And again, real estate, beachfront property, waterfront property, it does not get better than that. So either they can use it as their investment vehicles, or again, that's not great for ROI. So more or less, they're going to be buying it for personal use, in my opinion. Now, investors with strategic timing and financing, for example, now this doesn't apply to everyone, but 50% LTV or loan to value can expect ROE above 18 to 20% CAGR, again, compounded annual growth ratio or rate, far exceeding most traditional real estate markets. This could work if you go for the mortgage route, and that's a whole other technical thing. If you're a resident, if you're a non-resident, we can discuss more about that if you have any questions about that. But if you go that mortgage route and you only give 50% and the rest of it is basically financed from a financial institution, obviously all your ratios go through the charts. Now, the 10-minute yacht shuttle from Siniyah to Wynn positions it within the casino gravity zone, but still, and this is another key point, still separate enough to maintain the most important thing: privacy, serenity, and luxury villa exclusivity, right? If you're on the island in Ras Al Khaimah, there's going to be so much happening, there's going to be a lot happening over there. You might not have the best privacy, might not have a serene environment. At least when you're in Siniyah Island, you're in the villa district. You're kind of like living on the Palm. You have your swimmable lagoon. It's private, it's serene. You can enjoy with your family, and obviously it's luxury villa exclusivity. Not everyone has access to that area in Siniyah Island. So these are some of the renders of Siniyah Island, right? We did the analytical part. We went through all the numbers of why it makes sense, why the prices are going to go up, as we're saying, and all these things. Now, let's focus on Siniyah Island, right? Now, obviously, this is the apartment side, but look how gorgeous this is, right? And most of this island is already there, okay? They have all these mangroves. As a matter of fact, for those of you who remember our first video, we actually took a boat out into the mangroves. We showed you guys the mangroves as well, so go check out that video if you're interested. This is the render that we saw as well. Let's look at a more detailed one. And again, just like we mentioned, it will also have a golf course, an unmatched island golfing experience, okay? 18-hole lush green golf course as well. Look at how gorgeous that is. life by the sea as the golden hues of the setting sun dance across the shimmering marina waters. You find yourself immersed in a moment of sheer bliss. Oh, what a thing to write. Now, and it truly is, right? If we look at the comparison of the villas that were in Vegas or in Macau, again, they have their own place, but there really is nothing like this in the world. And Ras Al Khaimah, Marjan Island is also, something spectacular. Some more shots of basically the community. Again, you guys can see the beautiful promenade. You have your yachts, you have your marina, your lifestyle, total happening destination. Again, some more pictures where you can park your yachts and go to Ras Al Khaimah. Okay, so this is the map. First and foremost, let's understand where we are, right? Obviously, we're right here in Dubai, and you guys can see we have Dubai, Sharjah, Oman, Al Quwain, and then obviously Ras Al Khaimah. So this roughly 60-minute drive, an hour drive, okay, 1 hour drive, maybe 1 hour 15 minutes with traffic, drive to basically this island right here. This is Marjan Island. Okay, we've covered this many times. We went to the entire island. We did a whole in-depth video on the island. Of course, you guys can see it's got 4 parts. This is the island 1, the curve is 2, and we have 3, and we have 4. 3 is of course where we have a Marjan community as well, the address, and this entire portion right here is basically the Win Al Marjan Island. Now, if we zoom out a bit, this is Siniyah Island. So we're literally a 10-minute boat ride to this island. That's all where we're going. So it's very, very close by. Okay. And this is basically where Marjan Island is, all the entire island. This is where the casino is at. And this basically right here, this massive thing you can see is basically where Siniyah is going to be. It's actually already called Al Siniyah in Arabic as well. And you can see the boat ride is not that far away, going back and forth. And specifically, just like we talked about earlier, at least on the island, you have your golf course, you have your privacy, you have your serenity, you have your exclusivity. And whenever you feel like you're in the mood to gamble, you can go 10 minutes with your yacht and enjoy. So in my opinion, the location makes a lot of sense. The numbers make a lot of sense. It's not something that you have to think about too much. The historical data is already there. It's not something that's out of this world. We can look at the historical data, and based on that, we can come with this conclusion. This was a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, got a lot of valid information from it. Again, you guys could go do your own research. Always do your own research. Understand all these things. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.